All right. Content planning and creation. Predominantly on Instagram is what I've been um, tracking and looking at the changes that are happening with the reels over there. I think most of us create our reels in Instagram. Correct me if I'm wrong, but most people create them there and then shoot them over to Facebook. And since I'm working with Coach Fryer, his trainings and everything he does is predominantly over on Instagram. So yes, we're talking about Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, but as far as what is new, what is trending, and all of that, this is predominantly an Instagram conversation. So we have talked about the anatomy of a reel and staying strong to those and following a couple of tips, I think, is something that we could, I mean, even myself, I forget this when I go to create and post a reel, but it really, am I the only one that thought that was funny? Pun. It really behooves us to take some time to look at this. So we talk about the anatomy of a reel. You have the audio, trending audio. Number one, there are a few ways to get trending audio. You could do like I do and subscribe to people like Brock Johnson and Coach Fryer and let them send it to you. Or when you're in Instagram, you can go to, if you're on your reels, I'm just pulling it up. If you go to the music tab, hold on, reel, and you go to the music tab and there's a trending. It's like right there. Okay. Also, anything that is shown in the For You, if it's got a little arrow or a fire emoji, those are all trending also. So you've got two things. You've got a tab that tells you the trending, or if it's got this little arrow or next to the user, sometimes they've got like a fire emoji, like that's what they're promoting. And that, those are the trending audios. So select one that fits, but look for one that's got a lower usage, right? Unless it's like a tried and true one. Sometimes, there's a couple of those trending audios that you can use like over and over and over and over and over again. This will just help it reach more people. It's not going to make or break it necessarily, but when you use all of these tips together, combined, your reels will get more views, get pushed out more by the algorithm. All right, so that is number one. Then let's talk about the reason for a reel. Reels are the predominant way for your account to reach people who are not following you. Excuse me. Instagram has started with trial reels. Have you guys all seen this? We talked about this last week or the week or whatever, like a week ago. Trial reels will be pushed out to non-followers. Reels, regular reels, go to non-followers and your followers. So to reach more people that aren't following you, it's best to use the trial reels. They won't show up on your profile grid. You always have the option to bring them to your profile grid, but it will go just to non-followers. So anytime any of these platforms puts out something new, they want you to use it. So they will give you more reach when you use their stuff. So use trial reels. And it looks, again, I know we talked about this before, but it is a little switch. It's got new right next to it. When you go to post, there it is. You click it on, and now it's a trial reel. When you go to find your trial reels after you post it, it's going to be in your drafts and trial folder. So when you look at when you go to look at your grid, your Reels grid, the first little box is your drafts. And once you put a trial out, it'll say drafts and trials. Okay, so that is where your trials will live after you post them. And then after you post them, I've got a couple of them there. You can always go in and select to push them to the share to everyone. So you go to manage it like you would if you were editing your reel. And if you hit manage, it will say share to everyone. So you can always share to everyone later. So there's a couple of reasons why you want to create a reel, but the top one should be to reach people who aren't following you, because that is the one way that you can reach those people. Your posts, your stories don't get to people who aren't following you, okay? So think about that when you're creating your reel. You want to have your hook in 3 different places. The first 3 seconds of whatever text is going on the screen should include your hook. Then you can have a hook in your call to action, and the call to action predominantly is to read the caption when it comes to Reels, though it doesn't have to be. It could be to follow you, but if you put the call to action, or I mean, it could be a number of things, but if you put the call to action to read the caption, then in the caption, there is another call to action, which is a hook, essentially, right? So if we talk about hooks, it's grabbing attention, use bold text, make it stand out. And we have created hooks in like 15 different ways using the format that we shared and using ChatGPT. Negative hooks right now is what everybody's talking about. Okay, so negative hooks are stop doing this if you want this. The truth no one wants to tell you about blank. Why your blank is failing and how to fix it. See how those are all negative hooks, drawing attention to what's wrong and then offering a solution. So this is what's trending right now. And then giving that quick solution in the second, like, 6 seconds maybe, because most reels are still short form reels, though Instagram has just put out that you can put up to a 3-minute reel, but watch time, the amount of your reel that's watched on average, like 90% or 100%, it's going to get pushed out to more people. So if you have a 3-minute reel, chances are people aren't going to watch 100% of it. Okay, so the shorter ones are still doing better. So we have the hook, you have the problem, and then you give a quick solution. Then you have your call to action and a close. A reason for that. We talked about this, like a reason for the call to action, putting that hook back into the call to action. Does that make sense? So when we're creating our reels, think about these things. People, oh yes, sorry.
So, quick question.
Yes.
I am listening and I am taking notes, by the way, just in case you were wondering. All right, so quick question though. So I'm doing my reel, like I just come up with one real quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said a trial reel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never mind, I see it.
You found it? It's like a little
Continue.
switch, like you move the toggle. Yeah.
Got it.
So just test it out. You're right. I mean, you might as well. You can always put it to your grid afterwards. Oh, did we lose Lori? Oh. Okay, so I'm not picking on anyone when I say this, but I will implore you to really think about the reason why you're posting a reel. Don't do it just to do it, okay? The call to action is your reel. What do you want people to do? And for people who don't know you, you should be giving them a strong reason to want to know you, meaning want to follow your account, want to get on your list if you're offering something for free. Reels are not really the place to sell stuff. If anything, you are just selling yourself for the 7 seconds that they're watching you in the reel. Okay, that's it. If you think about it like that. So give them a reason and make it quick because the attention is short. Think about, I mean, I always think about this on TikTok because people are just going, shh, shh, shh. Why do they want to watch you? So we talked about creating video from like low angles, so it's not eye level, so that it's more interesting from like a lower angle. Is what we did a couple of weeks ago. Think about that. Think about quick movements or camera changes. Using memes is a great tool, but don't overdo it. Like just sprinkle the memes in, the remixes in to reels that are of you. So if you have those B-roll of you doing different things around the house, and I've dropped a couple lists of different B-rolls, those are great. And using CapCut to kind of cut those in so it's got quick camera angle changes and quick, different views will make it more interesting. And then it's really a copywriting trick as far as putting the text on screen with your hook and the different information that you're sharing with that call to action. So my suggested call to actions for reels is to follow you or to comment something relative to what your caption is. Nothing too involved. Okay. But you want to give them a call to action. So I see so many people posting reels and there is no call to action. And there is no reason for somebody to actually sit and watch through the entirety of the reel. So it's not really doing you any favors. This is my suggestion, to think about why you're posting a reel. The other thing that you can do, so once people are in your world, maybe they go to your reels grid to see what else, if you post something funny, if it's entertaining, if it's educational, if it's useful, then they might go to your grid and check out what else you have. So after you post it, and you certainly can do this before, but I usually end up doing it afterwards because if I have a trial, it's not going to show on my grid. When you go to your reel and you go to manage and edit, you can change the cover, right? So this is where Canva, our friend, comes in. So if you have a strong call to action, you can put that in the cover. So when someone's looking at your grid, they know exactly what the call to action is, what the reel is about, and it will look more professional. I used to do this regularly. I have not been good about doing it recently, but let me try to find when when I did do it so you can see. There's tons of reels covers. If you go into Canva and look up reels cover that you can use, templates. Okay, still looking. I have to scroll down. Okay, so here's a few that I had done, right? So you can see when you're looking at them, what the reel is about. It's kind of uniform, that kind of thing. These are, again, this is more of like a next level type of thing. If you want your grid to look nice and pretty and cohesive and give people a snapshot, right? And it's make the words nice and big and clear. So when they're looking at it, they can see what the reel is about. All right. So we talked about trial reels and reels to grow your account, adding covers to your reels, the new features as far as those trials are concerned, and how to find trending audio and engaging transitions. I truly believe that if you have followed this through our 30-day challenge, that once you compare your before insights to your after insights, you will see growth. You might not see like a ton of new followers, but you will be able to go in and see that you have reached more accounts. that information is all available under your insights. So for me, it says, if I look at mine just now, mine accounts reach has increased by 1,387%. And accounts engaged has increased by nearly 1,000%. All right, so questions? Also, something interesting that I listened to on one of the quote unquote Instagram gurus was to look at people outside of your niche for hooks that are currently working, or real ideas that are currently working outside of your niche, and then apply it to your niche. I thought that was an interesting way to kind of research and look at things. Talita? No? Does anyone want to look at one of their reels and kind of go through and see how we might improve the next go around? Would that be helpful? And I mean, we're talking about reels right now, but I mean, we could take a look at anything.
So now the reels, we're talking about reels
Mm-hmm.
because I guess we're posting from IG and merge to Facebook. Now have more views on the IG than the Facebook. How's that? Or is that?
Are you asking? Yeah, I would imagine that would be true because you're not creating and posting directly in Facebook, you're doing it in IG. Was that the question?
Yeah, so is it because just
Yeah, even though it's all meta and the apps are connected, if you're not creating and posting directly in the app, I believe that the reach is going to be less. That, and you're probably interacting more on the app that you are creating in than the other one. So you're probably spending more time on Instagram and interacting with other accounts and doing all of the things. 100%. So you could download your reel and re-upload it. Like if you wanted it to not share it between the accounts, it's going to take, it takes more time, but you can download it without the audio, then go to Facebook, and Facebook's going to have different trending audio than Instagram does. Apply a different audio and upload it to Facebook. The algorithm is completely different though on Facebook than it is on Instagram. It just really depends like where you're comfortable and what your priority is,
Thank you, ma'am.
For me, I don't really, it doesn't bother me. Like I don't really care that the Facebook views are down,
Yeah, just curious about that.
Yeah, for sure. That's why. Okay, did anyone want to take a look at something that they've already posted or work through some ideas that you might have? Here's another kind of hack, if you will, talking about like if you're not sure what to post. If you see those fun memes, right? You see the fun memes that are out there, you can use just the audio from the meme instead of remixing it, or you can take the text on screen from the meme and apply it to your own reel, you know, into something new that you've created. So there are different ways to kind of reuse ideas that are already doing well. And I'm all about not recreating the wheel. And when you do see those, go and look at, like, keep in mind, like, the call to action, the text on screen, the caption, how the caption is written, because a lot of times if it's done well and it's showing up like on your, like, quote unquote, like, for you page, you know, it's because of all of those things. That's why it's done well. So recreate that. All right, well, we can spend the rest of the time working on creating content. And if you have any, if you need any help or you want to create together, just let me know. But that was all that I had for the training part of this. Oh, and I will drop in the Reels chat the trending audio that Brock emailed out this week.